Hey guys, Wizard, Mar. How are you both? Glad to see y'all. Jeep, how are you, hon? And Wizard's right. He was the first one in. He even beat me in chat. Glad to hear, Jeep. Y'all know how we do. I'm gonna let it roll a few minutes and let some people come on in. But I did find a couple of little interesting things. Hey, Lala. Hey, Stars, are you still feeling okay, hon? Thank you, Stars. I completely understand. Thank you for letting me know. Hey, Shift, how are you, hon? Good, Stars, I'm glad. Um, we got over. Hey, Liza, how are you, hon? We got over 130 views on last night's open panel live. I've noticed that the open panel lives tend to get more views. And I will open the panel up after I do the news. That amount of views is very, very good, Lala. Wizard. Nah. You know we love to see you up on panel. And Wizard, I've actually got a video of what we was talking about last night too. You are very good at it, Wizard. It's very much appreciated. It's alright, Stars. It wasn't nothing major. We just got up on panel and bullshitted, that's all. Alright, I'm kinda anxious to show y'all this, so I'm gonna go ahead and share screen. Alright, y'all know last night we talked about the whole Tonga incident and about it possibly not being a volcano. So I went back and I said, well, since I talked about it, I'd pull up the video that I had watched and, share it with y'all. So here's that footage. Let me see if I can get it to go back. Okay. That's supposedly what the sonic boom sounded like, right? Bright stars. But alright. Huh. Hang on and let me go back to it and I'll drop the link so y'all can listen to it. It ain't but just a couple of seconds. If my computer will quit acting stupid. Come on, little computer. Hang on and I'll pull it up on my phone and put it in chat because apparently it's not going to work. It's not going to work. Well, I'll put it in there once I get back in there to my phone because apparently I left my phone inside. Right, la la. Alright. Excuse me. This is what I found today when I pulled that other video up. This is from James Kaufman, World News Today YouTube video. He's a YouTube creator. There we go. Alright, this is from satellites up in space and Wizard. I know you had touched on this yesterday when we was talking about it. Watch the cursor if you can't hear the audio. See his cursor? See right there? Hey, Tiger. Wizard. I don't know, Amar. I really don't. And here's the link to that video if y'all want to go back and watch it. Right, stars? It did, Lala. Alright, Wizard, take your time. Wow. You know, that might very well be why. Oh, okay. Let me see if I can get that other one to pull up here now. And this is the link to the other one. Can I see what, Lala? How you been doing, Tiger? I can't because you're not a mod, and only mod can put links in chat. Hang on, let me go back to YouTube and go in and add you as a mod. Hang on a second. I wish my eyes would quit itching. On a positive note, I can breathe though. Come on, internet. And guys, while I'm thinking about it, I don't know if y'all follow the prepping preacher. Um, he has the coof and has had it for a couple of weeks now. So if y'all don't mind, please say a prayer for him. His son's been keeping everybody up to date per community, on Prepping Preacher's community post. So y'all please keep him in your prayers. He seems to be like a really, really good man. I've watched him now for a couple of months. Well, hell. Hey, Broken, how are you, hon? Right, Wizard. How are you, Broken? Right. Lala, Wizard, I'll both make y'all mods, and I'll go back to my room in just a moment and do that. Right. Lala. Liza, I know it'll be good, that's for sure. Alright. Let's see. Alright. So, apparently, NATO, US, whichever one you want to call it, uh, gave Russia um, their papers today. So, let's go check that out. And I know a lot of y'all follow pinball. Uh, So y'all check out his video from lunch today. That man really knows his stuff. He really does. And I appreciate him greatly. Now, see, it's on pull up all this, but it won't pull up what I was trying to pull up a while ago. U.S. hands Russia written response to demands, says up the Kremlin how to proceed. Russia has demanded Ukraine be blocked from becoming a member of NATO and limit NATO on troops on bloc's eastern front. Secretary of State Anthony Blinken announced Wednesday that the U.S. has delivered written responses to demands made by Russia, saying it will be up to the Kremlin on how they want to proceed amid heightening tensions between Moscow and Ukraine. Russia had issued a list of demands in December, including a promise not to not admit Ukraine as a member of NATO and to withdraw troops from the region, even as Russia continued to amass troops near the Ukraine border, increasing fears that Moscow will order an invasion of its neighbor. Blinken said on Wednesday that U.S. Ambassador to the Russian Federation, Sullivan, hand delivered the Biden administration's responses to the Russian Ministry of Foreign Affairs in Moscow. Blinken said the administration is not releasing the document publicly because we think that diplomacy has the best chance to succeed if we provide space for confidential talks. Sure. All told, it sets out a serious diplomatic path forward should Russia choose it, Blinken said Wednesday, including a principled, pragmatic evaluation of the concerns that Russia has raised. Blinken said the document makes clear that there are core principles the U.S. is committed to defending, including Ukraine's sovereignty and territorial integrity, and the right of the states to choose their own security arrangements and alliances. I have to check that out tomorrow. I know he's going live tonight at I think it's at 8 o'clock. And that's early for Tribe. Usually he don't go live till 10. But yeah, you know, the US not NATO, whichever, because NATO is the US. US NATO's not 80% owned by the US. But you know, it's fishy to me that they don't want the documents released. They don't want us Westerners, aka the United States, to know what's said. Let's see. No, that was from Fox News that I just read. This is from the Moscow Times. U.S. NATO reject Russia's Ukraine demands, offer diplomatic path forward. The U.S. and NATO on Wednesday rejected Russia's demand to borrow Ukraine from NATO and pushed for a diplomatic solution to a crisis triggered by Moscow's military buildup near Kyiv's borders. U.S. Secretary of State Anthony Blinken and NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg held separate press conferences on the response given earlier in the day to Russia's sweeping demands for security guarantees in Eastern Europe and the former Soviet space. Excuse me. While neither the U.S. nor NATO made their written response to Russia's demands public, Blinken and Stoltenberg said the documents rejected Moscow's demand for a pledge that Ukraine will never join the NATO alliance. We make clear that there are core principles that we are committed to uphold and defend, including Ukraine's sovereignty and territorial integrity, and the right of states to choose their own security arrangements and alliances, Blinken said. Stoltenberg likewise reiterated the Western military bloc's core principle of open door membership. Blinken said that Washington had set out to Moscow's serious diplomatic path to resolve the confrontation and outline areas for bilateral cooperation such as arms control. NATO's response likewise outlined a series of areas where cooperation was possible, including increased transparency, mutual briefings on military exercises, and joint efforts to combat cyber threats, Stoltenberg said. A political solution to the standoffs is still possible, but depends on whether Russia acts in good faith. In quotations there. We've shown before that it's possible to make agreements with Russia that are beneficial for both Russia and the Allies. But of course, we are hoping for and working for good solution de escalation. We are also prepared for the worst, the NATO leader said. The U.S. and NATO response after Russia made public a list of ambitious demands for security guarantees that sought to limit the Western military bloc's role in Ukraine and the former Soviet space. Russia denies it's planning to invade Ukraine instead of accusing the U.S. and NATO of provoking tensions. Instead, not. Western countries point to Moscow's massing of 100,000 troops near Kyiv's borders as evidence as it's mounting a large-scale offensive. On Wednesday, Blinken said the U.S. was ready for whatever decision Russia makes, and that its response made clear that Washington would levy severe economic punishments on Moscow if it were to attack the Ukraine. The ball was in their court, he said. Right, Lala? He is. Yeah, Lala. I've heard about exactly, stars. I agree. But I believe that Russia is doing it for the Nord Stream 2 pipeline. They're wanting to be able to pump that natural gas through to Germany. Yeah, they are, Wizard. They have sent ships Ford Cuba. I actually talked about that a couple of lives ago. Oh yeah, but let me go through to my room and I'll finish up. I seen that unknown, and you know that's a bad thing. Lola, I think that's part of their plan. I really do. I didn't know that, Stars. I really did not. He definitely can. How are you doing, unknown? Well, we pretty much figured that from the beginning, Lolo. He's always been in China's back pocket, and vice versa. Probably. He probably will. Alright. Alright, Lala and Wizard, y'all are both now mods. I agree, Lala. Alright, I found something else a little bit interesting earlier. We all know about the whole 1-6 incident, that we're not supposed to talk about. He did. Thank you, Lala. I'll make sure to check that out. Um, Hang on. Let me pull it back up on my phone. Yeah, Lala, we can see it and go to it. They could be. They very well could be. Alright, this is from that 1-6 deal. Um, this is from Yahoo. Cawthorn rises great question who is an insurrectionist. A group of lawyers is working to disqualify from the ballot a right wing House Republican who cheered on the 1-6 rioters unless he can prove he is not an insurrectionist. Insurrectionist. The disqualified by the Constitution from holding office in a case with implications for other office holders and potentially former President, T-Man. The novel challenge to the re-election bid of Republican Madison Cawthorn, one of the House's brashest supporters of T-Man, and the lie that the 2020 election was stolen could set a precedent to challenge other Republicans who swore to uphold the Constitution and encouraged the attack. While the House committee investigating the assault on the Capitol has been unsuccessful in its efforts to force key members of Congress to cooperate with the inquiry, the North Carolina case has already prompted a legal discussion, one that is likely to land in court, about what constitutes as insurrection and who is an insurrectionist. So, with that being said, I went and looked up the 14th Amendment. All right. Constitution of the U.S. of America, 1789, revisal of 1992. All persons born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens of the United States and the state wherein they reside. No state shall make or enforce any law which shall abridge the privileges or immunities of citizens of the United States, nor shall any state deprive any person of life, liberty, or property without due process of law, nor deny any person within its jurisdiction the equal protection of the laws. Section 2. Representatives shall be appointed among the several states according to their respective respective numbers, counting the whole number of persons in each state, excluding Indians not taxed, but when the right to vote at any election for the choice of electors for President and Vice President of the U.S., representatives in Congress, the executive and judicial officers of a state, or the members of the legislature thereof, is denied to any of the male inhabitants of such state being 21 years of age and citizens of the U.S. or in any way abridged except for participation in rebellion or other crime. The basis of representation therein shall be reduced in the proportion which the number of male citizens shall bear to the whole number of male citizens 21 years of age in such state. Oh, yes, ma'am, I believe in the Constitution. I completely believe in the Constitution. That's what we should be using, Lala. Hey, Vaughn, how are you, hon? I completely agree, Lala. Alright, guys, there's a link if anybody wants to come up on panel. Let me go pin it to the top. So, ghetto. Alright, guys, it should be pinned. I seen that unknown. Thank you for sharing that. I forgot to mention it, but yeah, there's been a lot of stuff being sent over there, but yet still, um, the Ukrainian government saying they don't believe that Russia's going to attack, and Russia saying they're not going to attack and whatnot. But it's like someone said in chat last night: if Ukraine don't believe that Russia's going to attack, then why are they accepting all this aid? Ghetto, I seen your video a while ago. That's crazy. Excuse me. No, I don't blame you, no. I don't blame you at all. And I don't know if y'all paid any attention to it the last couple of days, but the stock market's been all over the place. How you doing, Ghetto? It has been unknown. That sounds interesting, Ghetto. That sounds like that could be a lot of fun. What you thinking of, unknown? Hey, goodness. You know, one thing I'm sure I could lay down and go to sleep. Thing is, I'd be back up at 10 o'clock raring to go again. Hey, Lala. Von Herrick. You there, Lala? That's not a bad idea. Unknown. I don't know if she's muted or what, Liza. She jumped back down. I was wondering if it was just my end. It would be better. Unknown. It would be a lot better. But I'm also wary of, what if everything crashes too? I understand there. Mm. I have family that plays stock market, but I don't really mess with it.
Hello?
Hey, la la.
Hello? Can you hear me now?
You
Hello?
there? There you
I'm
go.
here. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, good. Oh, good, good, good. Hello, everyone. Welcome. Hey,
Right.
stores. Well, I believe we're being set up. I think it's
Yes.
all been set up.
Honestly believe so. Hey, guys, if more of y'all wants to come up, y'all go ahead and come on up. We got enough room for 10 people today, so we got enough room for 8 more.
Ooh, come on, my little friends. Let's have a little discussion. Little friends, y'all are big friends. Y'all done got old. You're not little no more.
Oh, I understand, Liza. I just want you to get to feeling better, hun. I don't like to see y'all sick.
Unknown, did you like that? I took that picture of that cow out on one of my adventures.
Hey, Von Eric.
Hey everyone, how y'all doing? Hello,
Hey, Vaughn, Eric.
hey.
He's
Oh,
muted.
am I muted?
I hear you.
Oh, okay.
Oh, there he is.
How everybody doing?
All right, how are you?
I'm doing good. Much better. Much better.
Good.
I was just listening to the Secretary of State um, explaining the tensions going on in Ukraine and Russia.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, it's a hard thing to see because they sent them missiles and things like that, but the missiles that they sent, it has no bearing if Russia go in there. Russia can take them out just by sea and air. So those what the United States sent over there, it actually has no bearing when it comes. It only works for them when there's boots on the ground or Russia attacked by.
That's where we are.
So.
Well, Vaughn, that's what I was saying. He sent our defense, what we have here, tanks,
hmm
trucks, all of our things that would protect us,
Right.
instead of to the border, it went overseas. So if a country decided that they would like to run up in here,
hmm
what would we do?
Right. hmm
Because if they cared about people, they would have cared about getting a cure for cancer many years ago.
hmm
They wouldn't have been putting it into those little sugar cubes that they called polio shots
hmm
with the SV40.
Right.
Cancer within 40 years. I mean, come on. It's all a test. They have been doing tests on us. And I'll tell you, they've left me vaccine injured, is what I'll say.
hmm Yeah, I can understand that. Yeah.
And then you can't get a doctor to properly take care of you because they're scared of the government.
Right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm
hmm
sick of it. You know, people need to man up, woman up, American up, and stop this crap.
Right.
Yeah, I do think that, more and more people are seeing a lot of things going on which they didn't see years ago because the way they hid things and a lot of people was trying to take care of their family and stuff like that. But now since we in an information era and we have, cell phones, computers and the internet, we are able to get and gather information and which is a good thing and it's a great thing, but at the same time, I guess some people, which is, sometimes can be understandable, it's hard for them to fight because of where they're at in their life right now. Like you just said, Lala, some doctors are scared because, they got paid that the money that they used or they accumulated when they went to school, they gotta pay that back. They gotta take care of their wife or husband and children. So they scared to speak out because they know if they speak out, it can ruin them and put them in debt. So, but it's all like
Yeah.
you said, it's all set up. The system is set up that way to work that way for a lot of people.
Well, I don't think it's looking good for us on the home front. But like I said, I'm praying that Russia wants to go into Ukraine to find out about the funny business with the money and what's going on here. And maybe he's trying to help us in a way. Or he's going to use one of those things and do what it does to us. You know, who knows?
But Russia supplies Europe with oil, so they pretty much just start in their territory If they go into Ukraine, I mean, that's just a bigger territory that they used to control at one time.
Right, it was theirs.
Yeah, it was theirs. So what they're doing is just broaden their dominance when it comes to
Mm-hmm.
over in Europe. That's all that is. It's like if China goes to Taiwan, they once controlled that. So they just going over there to broaden their dominance and put their feet in the ground because a lot of these countries they moving away from democracy, especially since the COVID hit.
All of them are.
Yeah, so
They want this definitely a prison planet.
yeah, I see you. Yep, yep, yep. Because if it's like what you said, a prison planet, they have more control. You
Yeah.
see what I'm saying? Because like in the prison, the guards keep the inmates in control, so they have more control. And
Mm.
it's hard for when you have a control like that over top of you, it's hard for you to get out from the state that you're in. So you know what I'm saying? So you say you want to climb up. It's hard because you have different regulations and all these regulations keeping you down when
Right.
before you didn't have those regulations like you do.
Well, I just, I'm knowing that Putin and the T Man were very close, I believe. You could tell by their body language when they were near each other. You could see Putin, he'd smile real
Uh-huh.
big. I mean, he just liked being around. So possibly everything we see
Mhm.
is not what it really is
Mhm.
because, I was watching the other night and it looked like demolition was taking place where T Man used to live. I'm not going to say the word.
Mhm.
And it went on the top floor, it went through every window, and the last three, it skipped them,
Mhm.
and then it hit on the back window. You can see it, and it looked like
Mhm.
charges going off, if you know what I'm saying.
Right, I know what you're saying.
And the last window, so I told them then, those last three windows, that last window is like the kitchen, I believe.
Uh-huh.
Because when Trump was in office, he'd get up any time of the night, and we would, be watching, and oh, he must be in the kitchen, that kind of stuff. But those last two rooms before it, I believe, are a bedroom or a living room type deal that doesn't have a wall in between it. You get what I'm saying? So
Right,
that's
right.
why it hit that wall, skipped two windows, and hit the last wall. The birds even flew, and Candace Owens even said that she heard something go off at
Oh,
night in DC.
Can y'all hear me
So,
now?
yeah, we can hear you.
are they going
All right.
to? I heard, and now y'all know, you take this with a grain of salt, but I heard that they pulled out so many from down under the night. They were all at the Capitol, and all those police showed up, and fire trucks and ambulances. I mean, it was like surrounded by police. They said that they had found so many under the Capitol that it was unreal. And then they were also under the White House. Well, we know that Satan bought a house after he got out of being president, a few doors down, and put a big wall around it. And they went in that house and gutted it and made it into a, what is it called? When you get your war generals together, a war room.
This is under you said this is under the Capitol?
Now, okay, that was under the cap. They said they found bodies and people down deep under the Capitol and under the White House.
Oh wow. You talk about so how old was those bodies? Those bodies was recent bodies? I mean, was they
They didn't say. They just said that they were when the police showed up and the fire trucks and all the ambulances and all that. They were pulling people out. Now, some
oh,
of, I
oh.
don't know how many were dead or how many survived, because I
Mhm.
know in New York when they were pulling
Mhm.
up that the children weren't able, because they had been, generations had been under there,
Oh,
and they weren't able to take the air pressure. And so, from what I understand, that's what the ventilators were really for, was try to help with that. if you get what I'm saying.
I
Because
got
a lot didn't make it, couldn't, you know.
yeah, I got you. I got you. I
And I
see.
mean, their skin couldn't take the sun. I mean,
Right.
you think generations, at least four down underground. And I know this sounds crazy, like I'm off left field, but I've seen some stuff and I've seen some stuff lately that would make you just, it hurts your heart to think that someone could do this to people, especially children.
Oh yeah, that's true. Unknown challenger. I did see that about Tom Perez. Yeah, if he makes it as governor in Maryland, a lot of the things that the governor now, he's going to roll those regulations, and he's going to put heavy regulations on Maryland, which most of the governors that are from the left. But Tom Perez he's a socialist. He has a socialist mentality. So yeah, it's going to be a hard regulations that he does put in if he wins governor. But Lala, to what you just said,
Yeah.
as a mother, and are you a mother?
Yes, I have two grown young men.
Okay, as a mother and Peach, as a mother and two women
Mhm.
that live with the things that's going on. What can mothers do to overcome what's going on and what y'all are seeing in today's world in the United States?
Well,
Uh,
Vaughn, I've raised my young men to be followers of the Lord first.
Mm-hmm.
And every day of their life, I explain to them the dangers that are out there. And
Mm-hmm.
I was one of the mothers that would say, you better stay with me because if somebody were to get you, they might cut your fingers off. I didn't tell them any worse than that. But that's pretty bad. But I wanted them to know there are people out there that will hurt you. You stay right here with me,
Mm-hmm.
and they did. But you're going to have to warn your children. I mean, I know we want to protect our children, but the children need to be brought up knowing that there's people out there that will do horrible, horrible things to them,
Mm-hmm.
and they're
mhm.
not to be trusted. You got to give your children a loving home,
Mm-hmm.
do the best you can, but you've got to tell them what's going on. It's not good to say, to know this and keep it, because you want them to have the perfect little childhood. We all do.
Right.
But we're not in a time period where we can let children not know that we need them to be protected, that there's evil out there in this world. And I think a lot of times what's happened is people haven't told their kids, so they don't know. And if
Mm-hmm.
they don't know, and somebody says, "Can you help me pick this up?" and then throws them in a van and takes off, you know,
Mm-hmm.
you've got to be honest with them from a young age.
Right. Right.
And I mean, I'm the same way. Both my girls were brought up, attending church. Both of them gave their life to Christ at a very, very young age. My youngest daughter was 9. No, she was 8 when she got saved and was baptized. My oldest was actually 10 when she got baptized, and gave her life to Christ.
Mm-hmm.
Um, we basically have to lead them as best as we can, lead them in the right directions
Mm-hmm.
and instill moral values in them to know,
Right.
right from wrong.
Right.
Plus, help them establish good self con- um, self esteem. They're they need a good self esteem so they can say no.
Right.
If I've told them if a grown up touched them somewhere they weren't supposed to, they're supposed to say
Mm-hmm.
no and they
Hmm.
get away from. But you don't know. I mean, okay, when my oldest was like 3, he came
Mm-hmm.
home from daycare, and I have never discussed this with him because the doctor said never to. So it, for forgetting as a child. But
Mm-hmm.
someone had poked him in the butt with a broom handle, is what I think, to get him to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
Poked him, like sitting over there and poked him. But they poked him a
Mm-hmm.
little hard, and he was trying to go potty. And he told me it hurt, and somebody had touched him there,
Mm.
you know, I jerked him up and went to the doctor.
Right.
You're going to look at him. Go
Mm-hmm.
talk to him.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because if it's my husband, because, you know, you don't know. Your mother.
Right.
If it's my,
Right.
but my husband was with me coming home from work and picking him up. So, you know, it happened at daycare. I know. But
Mm-hmm.
I would have turned him. I mean, I've told my grown son with my grandchildren, if that thing that birthed them, and I'm being nice, if
Mm-hmm.
that thing that birthed them hurt my grandchildren,
Right.
he can go to prison with them
Mm-hmm.
because he's
Mm-hmm.
been told and warned.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I saw things when I was up there that I was like, oh, you know, oh,
But
hell no. You know, you're not raised, you know, you got to treat kids like they matter.
right. Yeah, and especially I'm on like me on that subject with kids. Now, asking me this. Now we see how some of these laws are implementing certain things due to, and they started off with women's rights and equality with women, which I understand. But first of all, I like what both of y'all said. Y'all said Christ first and God first, which is a beautiful thing, and I think that's the core that we all must use. But
Mm-hmm.
how do y'all use that when y'all see some of these laws that they trying to implement on a deceiving way? Like Rand Paul said, kids now, when they pass this bill, kids can go to the doctor without their permission of their parents and have their sex change. And now you can see they have many transgender competing in women sports. So my question is to y'all too. How do we as women, as mothers, how do you teach and how should we teach our kids when things come like that upon them, what's coming by the system?
Well, children have to feel secure at the beginning, you know, and their children have to feel secure.
Mm-hmm.
And you've got to give them that security to begin with. You know,
Uh-huh.
they got to know that they can trust their parent with
Uh-huh.
anything they tell them, that
Mm-hmm.
they can, you know, take care of, you know, come to you with anything. And, you
Uh-huh.
know, your child tells you something happened at school or
Mm-hmm.
something, you can't act like, oh my, you know, you got to act real calm. You
Mm-hmm.
know, I've got enough psychology, psychology that I know how to, you know, but you got to
Mm-hmm.
act like it's no big deal so that you can get the whole story. She can get out there through that little hole.
Yeah.
That big old girl.
She said, all I got to do is get my head in, Mama.
But I just think that as mothers, as grandmothers, we just have to say, you know, no matter who hurts these children, they're gone. I don't care. My child, your child, any child. You hurt a baby or a toddler, a young child, a teenager. But did you hear about Canada today? Did y'all hear that Canada is going to pass a law? With all that's going on in Canada, they're going to pass a law that anal sex with a 16-year-old is okay. Long
Yeah,
as
yeah.
and,
But they've been talking about that for they've been talking about that for a while in Canada.
well, I was first time, you know, it came across mine, and I'm like, that
Right.
kiddo is a sick.
Fucking sodomites.
Yeah. But but see, did that answer, then when we see something like that, how do you tell your children and how do you prepare your children for that? Because the way the system is going now, how it's being accepted, it's just like we watching a lot of things on TV that back in the day would not be accepted. And you see how certain things that you see on TV, children are impressionable. So they will start doing what they see and what they hear in music,
Okay,
like that.
Right.
well, we've done.
Mhm.
Um.
For saying that
Oh, I'm gonna put it this
dots
way.
make females and that there's XX chromosome,
You
XY.
know, I've tried to shelter my children from stuff like that.
Uh-huh.
What?
They
Jack
live
gave me
very, very sheltered
It's
lives. Well, the 23-year-old,
small
not so
room
much
for
anymore.
each, but
Uh-huh.
But
she's
I
just
do
getting back.
know a
I trust.
person, and y'all have heard me talk about it before, that, was born, you know, with both, male and female parts.
Uh-huh.
And I have,
Trust the
even though,
science until not.
Hey, I was going to tell you, my sister-in-law just told me that a channel got in trouble for talking about um X
A
X,
pastor
and
got
it was a pastor
his YouTube deleted.
because he was talking about God only
Transgender.
makes two, and they pulled it because of that. So we may not want to be on that subject.
Well, he got his channel pulled because he didn't give information out there that can go on both sides. He put his information and content that swayed people to one side, and that's what you can't do when it comes
Right.
to as far as the guidelines. When it comes to the guidelines, as far as YouTube, when you put content together that will sway people's minds to go one way, that's against the rules of
Well,
YouTube.
But
And
what
there
do
that's
is
we?
only one way.
I mean,
right.
it's boy, girl. You know, that. I mean,
No, what you do is which I'm my mind is focused, so I understand. Like what you do is just bring other information in that people may relate to. So that's why my
Well,
mind. That's
pastor
why.
can't do that though.
Yeah, yes, you can. You could just say like we
hmm
sit here talking. We could say, well, God made those type of people. So that means I'm giving you information. I'm telling you things that can go both ways. That people can see both sides. That's what you have to do when you put information out there that swings person one way. That's when YouTube or the people will say or flag you for that.
okay.
yeah. And I mean,
I still find it hard for a pastor to be able to do that
To
because
talk about the other
yeah, there's God,
56.
there's the godly view, and then there's not. So I mean,
Well, I personally,
She
as far as my
agrees.
interpretation in the way that I follow God, I agree with you 100%. But
okay,
only thing I'm just saying is when we do talk about the situation, we just make sure that we bring
Let's
in
keep it.
information on both sides. Just like I said before, remember, like Georgia Preach said that her child was born with both sex. Did God do that? Did God create that person that way? Why is that person acting that way? Was it God that did that? So we just gotta bring different information up so people can relate to.
well, I think that's an exception to the rule, though. I mean, you know,
Yeah,
Well,
that
that
is. Yeah.
we we are supposed to treat everybody with love and
Mm-hmm.
respect. That's
Right.
what we're called to do. We're called to give them the good news and to, try to help them.
Mm-hmm.
Dragging children out of school because they acted one way different
Mm-hmm.
than, you know, what they
Right.
think or whatever, um,
Mm-hmm.
is, I don't know. It is hard, and there are children born this way. And I'm not going to say God made a mistake because He didn't. He did it for a reason. He did it
Right.
for somebody to learn something,
Mm-hmm.
and because God doesn't make mistakes.
Right. Right.
try
Now it's
telling that. Try telling that to somebody that is so hardstring
Mm-hmm.
religious that they believe there's only one and two, or one and the other, and not both.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And they're constantly harping, God don't make mistakes. God don't make mistakes, and I tell them, you're right. Does not make mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
He put these people. He made these people that way for a reason.
Mm-hmm. But
And
do y'all think when people see that, do y'all think mankind does things to sway us and will deceive us away from God when they come up with different laws to like they say, like I just told you about the law they came up with that was presented that your child can go get a sex change. Now, we all have our own belief and we all have our own interpretation, which is our right in the United States to have. So,
Right.
um, what do y'all believe? Because it seems like the law is deceiving and taking us away from whatever we believe in when it comes to what we set as God. Who do we believe as God, and what do God believe in us? So how do we overcome that by our faith in God when they set rules that way?
With the way that I feel about it, the the lawmakers are trying to lead us away from God, and you're right about that
Hmm.
completely. The Bible says that the lawmakers will do it.
Hmm.
In the end times. In my opinion, and this is just my opinion, YouTube. In my opinion, there's only 10 laws that we should follow,
Hmm.
and that's the 10 commandments laid out by God.
Hmm.
Well,
But
actually 12, but
um,
because you got to love your neighbor as yourself that Jesus gave us. And he
And
gave
love,
us one
yeah,
more,
love your God with all your heart and all your
all
soul.
your soul. Yeah, that's it.
mhm.
But, the problem right now is these people with horns and pitchfork, and there's a lot of them, have infiltrated our communities.
Hmm.
They are next door, our schools, our churches, our
Hmm.
government. But they all come from those 13 blue things. And they're not like us. These people, I mean, we know what they do, allegedly. It's just my opinion. But from what I've seen, and I've seen a lot over the past 6 years because I've done some deep dives and I've seen a lot of stuff.
Hmm.
And like I said, something I saw yesterday has left me
I
pretty
think
shaken up.
we should hold whenever we hold on, and whenever we have our faith in, because we have different people have different faith and different paths that they take with God. I believe we hold on to the core path of who we are as a child of God, a human being, a soul within us. I think that's what we should use as our core value when it comes to raising our kids. Yes, they're going to come up with laws. I can't say to disrespect, or it would be wrong for me as a child of God to say to disrespect the law, because the law is run by the Lord. But the Lord has set core values and principles for us. And I think that's what we should hold on to when it comes to raising our kids and taking care of our
And ghetto, on your comment there, even if someone is born with two, parts, they still have one dominant. I completely agree.
family. Yeah.
But in my experience, and it's not my biological child that was born that way, but he should have been mine. But he was born with both parts, and his parents decided that they wanted him to be a female, and being born that way, the male side was more dominant with him than the female.
Uh, yeah, I see that by a singer called Sierra. She was born with both parts, and that's what her parents waited till she grew a certain age or whatever, and see where her spirit was more so going to. And when they did that, that's when they took the other part away.
Right. But see, they didn't give him that chance.
Oh,
I
okay.
mean,
They just
they they didn't completely remove the male part,
uh-huh.
but there's absolutely no record left of him being born with both parts.
Oh,
They had it erased, or
oh,
however they do that,
right.
and I mean, you can tell that he's more predominantly male than he is female.
Oh, okay.
So, he's trying to get the money up where he can, do what he needs to do to fully be accepted as a man.
Oh, okay.
See, that's where you have to look back at the doctors who made this decision to kind of lead the parents in that direction.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
I mean, like I said, these doctors, people, some of them want to help you, but most of them are there for a paycheck and
Right.
to
Hmm.
push you through just like your cattle. Move
So,
along, move it
so,
along.
so, Lala, when you say that, how do you go by when you talk to a doctor? How do you go by seeing what that doctor is spiritually? Like spiritual. I guess I'm asking you, how do you use your spirit of discernment to determine what the doctor is? Is he there for his paycheck, or does he have a heart of God, or does he have a heart of the world? How do you discern that?
Well, that was one thing that the Lord gave me from a very early age because I accepted the Lord about 7 years old.
Uh-huh.
As soon as I wasn't scared of them dunking me under the water. Isn't that something to be worried about? It, but as a child, that's a big thing.
Mhm.
But I've had he gave me great discernment with people. But when I talk to my doctors, you know, I kind of hit them with some red pills, kind of throw them
Okay.
out and
Okay.
see what they bite on and see what they know. Because if they don't know the truth, I don't need them as a doctor.
Right.
But they'll just literally tell you. Like here, I've been a chronic pain sufferer for years. Well, I came out of that system because they put me up against the wall. Either you pay $120 to get your medicine or you have shots in your neck. I don't know what you're putting in my neck. I don't know what you're putting in my body. I can't
Right.
have that. So keep your crap and I will deal with it on my own. And
Do you
since I
be-
have, and it's been 5 months now,
right?
but I don't believe they should have done me the way they did by making me have another doctor who has been writing down what's going on with my body. Because my original doctor, he would sit and write it out like her hands look, making a record. I haven't seen other doctors do that, but he would come in, sit down with this notebook in his lap, hold my hands, and look at them and look at me, and try to figure out how to help me. I
So,
knew.
what do y'all prefer? What do you prefer? Do you prefer a doctor that is um, holistic then medical, or medical then holistic? Meaning, what do you prefer a doctor to be? More on the medical side and then holistic doctor, or holistic then medical, vice versa? What do you prefer?
I would like a holistic doctor, but you know how many they have gotten rid of?
And then they
Uh-huh.
don't. Most of them don't accept insurance.
Right, right. You
So
can't
you
go
have to
to
pay out of
them.
pocket.
But my friend who had a bad accident at 17 messed her back up and she recovered, went on, but now she's in her 40s. But she's been sick for a long time. They took out most of her and part of her large intestine. They took it all out.
Uh-huh.
um, Trying to help her. What they didn't realize during that accident, one of her vertebrae in the back twisted, so it was pushing on the nerve for the digestive system to work correctly. They didn't find that out until after they took the large intestine out. But I told her to begin with, you need to find out why it's not working right before you go and pull your intestines out. Let them cut them out. But doctors, they get paid big bucks for that stuff. You just have to use your discernment, talk to the doctor. Like, I make, y'all know me, I make a little funny, a little sarcastic remark, and you kind of watch. And if they act a certain way, I don't want to see them no more. If you don't care, and that's how this in Alabama, you have to go to a pain center to see a pain doctor.
Hmm.
And as long as you don't refuse these needles, then you're okay. We'll give you some medicine. But when you refuse a needle, in your back or your neck, and they have put shots in my back, in this year. But after I learned what I did and I started thinking, they could be putting this stuff in anything, you know, pass it around. We don't know. You can't trust where it's coming from. We can't trust our medicine. It's coming out of China.
Right.
Why? Why did we send all of our work to China? Why did we do it? Why did we cut people's jobs and send them to a country that wants us dead forever? I mean, it's always been a thing between us two. They want our land. That's why I don't think we'll get the NU. I don't think we'll get that here. I think it'll be something else because they don't want to destroy the land. They need to farm it to feed them.
Hmm. So
Just
you
my
believe
thought.
that we've been so you believe that we've been sold out when it comes, especially when it comes to outsourcing jobs in the land that many of
Yes, because
the
we have
people.
our own people making our medicine that we would be able to know that it's safe. And
Uh-huh.
I think one reason they took up a lot of cut people off of their pain medication, because I know several people that are chronic pain sufferers,
Hmm.
and they've cut will cut their medicine back or cut it off or whatever. I think it's because they're bringing fentanyl in, and they want these people to get desperate and to get a hold of it.
Hmm.
That's another easy way to get rid of somebody when one pill can kill a whole state, and that's coming from China. And I mean, I'm sick of it. You
Well, one
know,
thing
that's
that
why I
I
wanted to run
see,
for governor and grow
yeah,
poppies.
that's what I was getting ready to say that one thing that I see that you're very aware and you see a lot of things that's coming and a lot of things that's going on, which is a wonderful thing. And it seems like you when you talk, I see and I can hear education coming out for people to gravitate it and take it and build off of it. So why don't you run, or what do you do as far as in your family when it comes to educating them when you see those type of actions
Well,
going on?
I could run for the school board and all.
Hmm.
We see, I live out in the country, and we don't have like a mayor or councilman. We have a what are they called?
County commission.
We have county commissioners that vote for us.
Hmm.
And right now, to run for that, I'd be running against a lifelong friend and probably wouldn't win in that situation because he's been doing it for a while. He's a man.
But you that's
But what I want to do, if I tell all my secrets, maybe they won't find them out. But I wanted to run. I want to audit. I want to know where all this money's gone that the state has. Oh, and they're fixing to build a 11-story prison in Deatsville, which is out in the country.
mm,
11 stories to
mm,
house inmates. It's going to be huge. And do you know how the governor how she's going to pay for it? With COVID money. Oh, shouldn't have said that. With that money that she received.
mm,
Why is that money going toward a prison?
mm.
See,
I
I
see.
worked. I worked as a legal secretary, so I know when they were working on prison reform. I know how they work on prison reform. See, I've worked enough around the state. I could be dangerous as governor for the people that are bad, but they would kill me because they know because I'd be digging up bones every which way.
Right. I
Well,
see
you
the
ain't gonna
ghetto.
let you get in there with them
Mm-mm.
ENS
Because
voting systems.
I also
What
don't eat people, so
what she,
you know.
I didn't hear what she said. She said what? NS? I didn't hear that. I'm sorry.
ENS with the computer voting
Oh,
machines.
okay. Okay, I got you. You talk about the software that's in it, right? Or are you talking about something else? I could be.
Yeah, where they can. Well, we don't elect anybody; they
Oh, okay.
select
I
for
got
us.
Hmm.
It's a selection, not an election.
No, these people, I believe in my heart, are raised to be put in these positions. They, from what I heard from that, one of the ladies that I follow, that's a um, MK Ultra survivor, honey, how they split these people's personalities and how many personalities they can put in a person.
Mm-hmm.
And if they get you at a young age and they know, that's what, remember the president before the last one, his health care bill was
Mm-hmm.
about, from the time your mother finds out she's pregnant with you, they are tracking you. It's a tracking system.
Oh, they did put that. Yeah.
Okay, where are all the college kids? Not all the college kids, most college kids over in China going. They're
Mm-hmm.
picking them up because they know that kid is a match for this man that's got big killions of money and will buy a heart. So they'll take them, put them on a table, strap them down, and cut them open and take it. They're not going to give them something to relax them or to put them to sleep to do it. They're just going to take it. A
Right.
kidney, a heart, whatever. These people are not people. They're from the synagogue of Satan.
They're groomed to put into positions, political positions.
Mm-hmm. But I will always believe that former president who has a star upside down on the back of his head is a seed of.
But she said she said political positions. What does she mean by that? Political positions. I'm just asking a question. What you mean by that?
Sorry, my dog just jump up and fell. Just politicians. I believe they're groomed. They're groomed as
presidents,
vice
presidents.
Oh, okay.
They choose those that are part of the Masonic, satanic agenda.
I got you. Okay, I see what you're saying. You're saying people was raised up to go be in a position of power to carry out an agenda of the people who raised them and put them there.
Yes.
Yes.
I got
exactly, Ghetto.
Ghetto
when
said we sent
when we went over there and they were showing pictures of the oil fields burning.
Yeah.
And you saw our servicemen standing, and women around it with guns.
Mm-hmm.
What he was talking about.
Yeah, that he's talking.
You knew then. We weren't there. I told everybody. They're like, "Oh, we went over there because of gas." I'm like, "No, we didn't." I knew then, but I grew up sort of knowing what was coming. I don't know if God put it in me, and kind of being like, my oldest told me one time, "Mom, you've been telling me my whole life this was, this," and I'm like, "Well, son, it's here. Just watch what's coming." What I've told you need to do, what I've told everybody they need to do to keep themselves safe. No one wants to do it. But one day you're going to think that woman that wore the tinfoil hat that was stupid knew what she was talking about. Because God has laid it on my heart as to what's coming. And it's not pretty.
Yeah. Ghetto also said we sent everything to them because of the lazy. We're too lazy to provide ourselves. We're consumers, and I wanted to see if we can expand on that. Was it lazy or was it profit or capitalism of the people who outsource those jobs and outsource how things be made for another country?
We haven't had it here today. We didn't have the jobs here, and we do have lazy people. But can you imagine if we had these jobs here that paid nice? You might not have the situation where we have the homeless on the streets. There are people that want to work. It's like I said, grow the poppies, put the drug addicts to work picking it, cleaning it, or whatever they have to do, and send it to our local colleges, because we have colleges here in our state that have, hospitals that they teach it and they make pharmaceutical and all that. Why can't we make our antibiotics that we are low on? We're low on pain medicine. We're low on diabetes medicine. We're low on every medicine. That's try to get an antibiotic from your doctor. You know what he's going to say? No, you don't need it. Fight it with this. Fight it with that. Well, if you get a bad tooth, you need an antibiotic. I'm sorry, but they're so low on it. They're even having to, you know, pick and choose who gets that. Where's all of it going, though? Are they putting it underground for these people that are so important?
It's on the cargo ships, probably.
Probably. There's also stuff on that cargo ships I'm afraid of, like mechanical people that would want to harm people that, you know, has no emotion.
Yeah, that's true, Huckleberry. Huckleberry said corporations got hella write-off in China, and that is true. So, is that
and cheap labor
and cheap labor correct? So
cheap or free labor.
Correct.
Because the Wiggers over there.
Yeah, I believe it. So is that more so capitalism, people trying to profit and choosing profit over America, basically, over the people here in America? Are these corporations here in America choosing profit and capitalism and in their pocket than keeping it here in America? That's why I think I'm trying to see, is that also the problem?
I think we need to be doing, if you want it and you want to buy it, you better hope it's made here or you're going to have to make it yourself. You know, I mean, I'm tired of us buying from other countries and propping them up when the only thing they really want is our land. And I'm going to tell you, you'd be very surprised to learn how much of our land is owned by them. Because they came in here with realtors and somebody come in looking like they're going to buy this land, and it's not even, they're not even buying it for themselves. They're buying it for over yonder, way over yonder, across the big blue Pacific. Yeah. I mean, we're in a mess. I really believe they're fixing to let them come in here on us. I really do.
I think that what Ghetto said, that's also pay isn't the problem, the cost of living. And who controls the cost of living? Rescue, I think that is very much true as far as the war, industrial complex, the conflict they keep going so they can sell arms and stuff like that. I think that is very much true. Yes, that's Ghetto. I think that is so true about the national debt. You can see how lazy we are. Yeah. Do you think, but Ghetto, do you think the laziness came because of where we was in our life as far as how the money coming in?
I'll go back in there.
Than the people? Or who do you blame more so? You blame that on us, or do you blame that on the people who started the corporations? We know, just don't care. Bug Dude, they don't have the labor laws over there. That, yes, absolutely true. Yep, we would never. Now, Bug Dude, the labor laws over there. Do you think the corporations over here lobby them to have those laws passed? So do you still hold some of that on the corporations over here? Because you know they lobby laws overseas also. And what are your thoughts about that? That's true, Ghetto. Money is an illusion. That is true. Make things make sense has been absolutely of power and control. That's true. That's true, Ghetto.
No, ma'am.
It wasn't it Bill that started this mess. Like, I know we sent businesses went to Mexico and businesses went to that other place I've been saying. I don't want to get us in trouble. China.
Yeah,
Try to say it like
the
Trump did.
C, the H, the I, the N, the A.
You talking about the NAFTA bill? Are you talking about that?
That's it. Good guy.
That's what we were trying to think of.
I've been over here trying to think of that forever.
Yeah.
But
But
NASA gave him,
when he passed that bill, you know who he was working hand on hand with. He was working with the Republican Party.
yes.
Because
They're
they
all corrupt.
They're
Yeah.
if they're in politics, if
Mm-hmm.
they're in a high position that's
Mm-hmm.
over, you can rest assured that they got blue blood.
Yeah, the only one that wasn't was Jeff Sessions.
Yep.
The only one out of all of Congress that was not corrupt and was not one of the good old boys was good old Jeff Sessions.
But
Oh
people
yeah,
have thought he's
because
bad because
that's the
of what
reason
Trump
why they
did.
kicked him. Do you think that's the reason why they kicked him out as Attorney General when he was?
No, I think he came in. He did the job he was assigned to, and like a stealth fighter, he jumped right on out of there when his job was done. And they made it look like him and Trump had beef with each other. It was show. It was all for show.
Oh,
Jeff Sessions is
He's a good man.
Straight up good man. I know his family, and you go look at Peter Schweitzer. Peter Schweitzer wrote, does a bunch of digging and a bunch of writing of books, and he said the only congressman that was clean as a whistle was Jeff Sessions. And I think that's why he was selected by Trump. And he went in there and he did the job he was assigned to do, and then it was time for him to go, and he did what he needed to do.
Because somebody was putting together some of these, what are they called, Angie? All the indictments and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
There were thousands upon thousands upon thousands of them.
Durham, he appointed Durham. He appointed the one in Utah. Who's the other one?
I can't
that
remember.
Turned everything over to Durham. The other prosecutor that was originally investigating the Clinton Foundation.
Was he the one that got killed?
Well, you talking about?
He's still alive.
You talking about the one? I think he became president of a
college. With his.
I know who you're talking about. Yeah, he became president of a college down Texas, Baylor. He became president of Baylor. Yeah. I forgot.
Well, you can see the good ones try to bail.
But I think what failed Jeff Sessions. I thought Jeff Sessions was a good attorney. I thought he was some of the laws. I thought he was behind. I thought it was good. But what failed him is when he spoke in front of Congress. He wasn't. I think they got him at a part of his life that he wasn't. I guess I'm saying quick on his feet. And I think when he was stumbling so much, especially when they was kept. When he told Kamala Harris, hold up, let me answer the questions. The way they was bringing questions at him in a type of way, it confused him a lot of the things that he was going on, and it didn't make him look good at that moment of time.
Well, you know what they say about people from Alabama. We slow, but we good people, most of us.
But see, I understand that, but I don't accept that because there's a lot of people in Alabama are so very intelligent people. But I just think that at that time, at Jeff Sessions, where he was in his career at that time, I think if they'd have got him 20 years from now, I don't think they would have did that. But as may be, the way they had him, he was stumbling in certain things that he was saying, people didn't accept because because maybe because the way he was saying it and people couldn't understand. Because Rothstein came when the other guy came in after him, he was more quick on his feet when it came to
talking about Barr.
Yeah, Barr.
But Barr's part of the problem.
Yeah, Barr. If you know
I think Barr's part of the problem.
No, I thought Barr was on point because Barr was educating people when he was up there.
That way.
Especially when it came to Kamala. When it came to Kamala Harris, when she tried to drill him, she couldn't. Because Barr is an educator at the same time. He's not only a lawyer, he's an educator when it comes to the law. And I think
let me tell you something about Barr. Barr's daddy ran a school that hired Epstein to work in it, like a school for kids that go to a prep school, a private prep school. And his daddy hired Epstein, and Epstein didn't even have the
degree.
degree to do the job he was doing at the school.
Yeah, I did hear about that. Yeah, I did hear about
So, I mean, you have to think
But like y'all said, all politicians are crooked. So
they're all crooked. They're not going to let somebody in there that's not
right.
part of their group. And if one does get in there, they're going to turn on them like the little rattlesnakes they are.
Nah.
But wait a minute. Do you think? Wait a minute. As far this is a question on Sessions. Remember, Trump wanted Sessions to do a lot. Trump wanted Sessions to do something what Sessions would not do. So, do you think that was his demise? Because it was a lot of things. Trump wanted Sessions to do his job as far as Attorney General. That's the but. Hey, it was something that that's true. It was something that it came across Sessions' desk. Sessions turned it over to Rothstein instead of doing and Trump felt that Sessions should have did his job as an attorney general. He should not excuse himself. That's what he thought that he shouldn't have done. Do you think that was his demise?
Go ahead.
Oh, yeah, that's true, Huckleberry. Power lends to corrupt, and absolute power corrupts. Absolutely. Yeah, that's true, Huckleberry. I understand that. Well, that's true, Ghetto. Yeah, I can hear you, Peach. That's true, Ghetto. Like they said, all politicians are pretty much corrupt, and you're right. Trump is a politician.
Okay.
Can you hear us? Oh man, I'm sorry, Bug Dude, about the chocolate factory. Let me see. They don't have the labor laws over there that we have here. They get away with things we would never, and makes the cost of manufacturing lower. Wait a minute. Let me see what you said. Bug Dude said about the chocolate factory. I didn't see that. Oh, hey, Bug Dude, when you say they lobby overseas, but it's just a show, you what do you mean? They just give them money and just to show that they give them money, or what? Or this is a show over here? I didn't understand that. But I think I do. I think I kind of understand what you're saying. It's just a show. I just don't want to misinterpret what you're saying as far as just a show. Um, oh man, I'm the only one not paying. What's up, Peach?
There we go. Let's try that. It's driving me nuts. You still there?
Yeah, I thought I was. I was like, man, I took over Pete's show. I done took over Mr. Peach.
There we go. Let's add Lala back in. I can add but for some reason, my laptop keeps kicking me out. So
That would mean we need a Democrat senator to resign or be removed.
Rescue, rescue. I'm with you. Oh, with Ohio. What's those? You said old footage of him grip about how the government. Oh yeah, I mean yeah, he did talk about that a lot. Rescue, but that was just probably for show though? Was that just for show until he got into office, and then once he got into office, did he carry out a lot of things that he was talking about as far as the swamp things he's been talking about since the '80s? Do you feel he did that when he got into office? Did he drain the swamp, Ohio, or did or no? Ghetto got a point. Trump was a Democrat at one time.
yeah,
He was a Democrat.
you're right, Bug. It is all a show.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I see what you're saying now. But dude, yeah, that's true for the American people. I see. Yeah. So, Bud, dude, since it's all a show, how do we? What should we do as Americans to show something different? How should we do as Americans? Because we, like you said, it's all a show. We can see it. So, what do you do as far as, and what should we do as far as when they show things, we need to counteract it? How should we go about that?
Until we get, in my opinion, until we get up off of our sorry asses,
Uh-huh.
I'm talking about as a whole country,
Exactly.
and stand up to these son of a bitches in office. And I mean red, blue, pink, purple, brown. I don't care what side they on. Hell, we'll even throw green in there. Get them out and instill people that actually give a F about this country. Nothing's going to change at all.
Yes, we have ghetto. And the thing about it is, they want to enslave the whole damn planet now. Because you know
Right.
who wants to be over God? He's running the show and trying to make sure that he's important in some degree. I don't think he abandoned us. I believe there's more going on here than meets the eye. I think everything is optics. You know, I just think that. Now I'm mad because if I'm gonna take an oath to defend the Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic, my goodness, I'm gonna stick to that oath because I made it to God. But see, there we go again. You've got to believe, and you got to put that belief in action daily.
Oh, stars do have stars. I see your. I believe I see your point. You said as soon as we go out, they will lock us down or find a new ship or situation. We have to see through it all. Yeah, that's true, stars. Yeah, ghetto. You said when you say he abandoned us, you're talking about Trump, right? When he left, when it came to the election, you're talking about Trump, right?
Well, technically, he left before the election.
You talk about you talk about Trump left before the election was over, Peach.
Yeah, he left before the election was over. I mean, he was still the front man, but
Right.
he turned the U.S. over to FEMA in March.
Dang, you can get a little staticky there, Peach.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you, but it sounds like you're talking through static.
Hang on a second. Let me see something. See what the problem is. How's that?
It's a little better, but it still gets that scratchiness in it. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. I'd come up off the laptop because
You
it
sound
wouldn't let me talk.
you sound good on my end, Peach. I think and I think
Y'all,
that's
I'm fixing to lose my phone. I wanted to tell
Mm,
everybody I love you. I have enjoyed this conversation. Vaughn, Peach,
yes,
we need to
ma'am.
pick it up again. I want to, continue because I think we've had a good panel this afternoon.
Definitely, I've enjoyed it.
mm.
Oh, she gone already?
I think Gatto said he brought us the Rona and the jab. I don't want to say his. I think I know what you're talking about, Gatto. I just don't want to say his name because I don't want to get it flagged when it comes to information. But I see where you going to. But do you think that it was, instead of saying one person, do you think it was a group of people in the system? What are your thoughts on that? I'm just asking that because to keep in in the laws and the guidelines of how we should talk when it comes to giving information. And
Right.
I want to flag Miss Peach thing. Hmm.
I mean, y'all have heard me say it before. I voted for Trump because he was the lesser of the two evils.
Hmm.
The first time and the second time.
Okay.
Because it's been proven way too many times that Hillary uh, is involved in organizations that I believe this country should not be ran under, but unfortunately, no matter what we do, it's ran under that organization.
Right. I got you. Bug Dude said Trump said that he wasn't any point to talking about the election moving forward until 2020 was fixed. Now he's all that and talking 22 and 24. Bug Dude, when you said that, now you know that it was an article that was written, and it said that written and about his daughter, Trump's daughter, getting a trademark, and you know they had voting machines made in China. Do you think is that the reason why he's so um, secure as far as running in 2022 and 24? And what is your feelings about our voting machine being made over another country instead of being made here in the United States? Machines and the software that goes in them. What are your thoughts about that?
Hey, elusive. Oh, I understand, Liza. I completely understand. I hope you feel better soon. In my opinion, I don't think there is going to be a 24. Not as far as elections go.
Oh, you think? Oh, so you think what you mean by that, Peach? When you say no 24, what do you mean no election?
I believe that either a martial law is going to be declared.
Oh, okay, I got you. Okay, I got
You,
you.
you know,
You think we could be on a total lockdown or
I
something?
believe so. I
Okay,
believe so.
okay,
Because it's like I said either yesterday or it might have been on today's live. Um, the one that was in before Trump
uh-huh,
made the comment while
uh-huh,
he was in office that if he could run for a third term
uh-huh,
as president, he would do it. And he said, but if I can't do that, as long as I have a front man with
uh-huh.
a piece in his ear and I can sit in my basement in my sweats and tell him everything to say, I'll do it.
Oh wow. Okay. Oh wow. Okay.
And I mean, we all know that's who's running the show.
Oh, okay. Okay. I got you. I see. I see your point. I got you.
Because this is only Wednesday, and 3 times this week his name has come up and come out of the VP's mouth, the president's mouth, and the press secretary's mouth, is him being in charge.
But Peach, according to like to go to what you said, years ago around the Clinton and Bush era, they was talking about because we always had an international community since I believe it might have been before the 1700s, but we also always had an international community that butts in, comes in. If one country takes over another country's land or take certain lands, they always got to go to the international community to work things out, and you got international laws. Now they was talking around that time of one day being a president of the international community. So if it was a president there, that president would be over every federal jurisdiction around the world. So that means if it's a president in the United States, that international president will be over him. Do you think one day it may become like that? Because if so, we would lose a lot of our pretty much president we only can do but certain things.
Right. I mean, that's exactly what it's going to come down to. Look at how long they've been shouting NWO.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And I mean, every president, including T-Man, has talked about that organization.
Right. Yeah. That's true. Yeah.
This started from Bush Sr. all the way to who we have now. Light Stars. That's exactly it. And Ghetto, you're right. It's not about race. I mean, the NWO is who we're fighting in the end.
Right. That's true. But Ghetto said something about the machines mean nothing if you ask me. Just another talking point for us to be distracted with. He knows it's rigged, and that's why he screamed it out. We're worried about the election. I believe that is. You're right. I do believe that it's a distraction, but many of people don't believe that, Ghetto, especially people who's been raised to vote and been vote all their lives and have been voting all their lives. They don't believe that it's is rigged or because the way that mentality is as far as voting. But what do you think we should do from here on? Yes, those machines and what they say is rigged, and he did say it was rigged, and there was a lot of things going on. So what do you think as a group of people in the United States, what should we do? Should we just stop voting? And then what about the people that do vote, that's been voting all their lives? How can we explain that and say that to them? Because they think that, it's not rigged. It's people that still vote to this day, even though they got rumors out there saying it's rigged. And I had to say rumors due to the content.
Right. And Ghetto, you talking about like centuries of presidents, not just our last handful. That was just an example.
What you say, Peach? I'm sorry. What you say? Say it again. What you say? I'm sorry.
Ghetto says, thanks centuries of presidents, not just our last handful of presidents.
Oh, okay.
I was using from Bush Sr. onward as an example. We've been fighting this, I'm going to call it an entity, because at the end of the day, that's exactly what it is. We've been fighting this since the Garden of Eden. The NWO, and I have references, I just have to look for them. The NWO stems back since the Crusades and even further back than that.
Mm-hmm.
The NWO is today's version of the free people, and I don't mean the United States or the first world countries,
Mm-hmm.
as well as their predecessors. That is where your NWO comes in.
Right. Absolutely right. I think. Oh, go ahead.
That's gonna be part of my presentation for mine and your and Fat Man's panel Sunday.
Oh, okay. Ghetto said, and Ghetto, I do agree. That is why we are where we are today. That's true. We should have been at war with ourselves decades ago. I believe that is true. I see the truth in that. But tell me this, Ghetto. Many of people back in the day, their mentality was to take care of their family, their kids, and things like that. So just like yourself, you even said it's about your wife and your two children, which is you're absolutely right because we are raised and bred to take care of our family. Do you think the same mentality was the same way years ago? People trying to take care of their family, and that's the reason why they didn't fight. What do you think? What we should do from here and now on?
Right, and I agree, Rescue. A bunch of man-made chaos to keep our eyes off of God since he breathed life into us. Satan has been jealous and has been trying to pull us away.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely right.
Oh, I see. See, Ghetto, he did come back. Yeah, that is very true, Ghetto. Only thing we can do is prep ourselves and our family, prepare until we are forced to fight. Nothing we can do to the devil besides to spiritually aware and trusting God. Absolutely, 100% true. That is on point. Yeah, that's wisdom, knowledge, and understanding right there. Yeah, that's perfectly said right there.
That's right, Ghetto. That's it. Let it burn until God comes for us.
God comes for us.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean that's all we can do. You
Right.
know, we are our bodies are shells.
Mm-hmm.
We cannot stand up through we are not made to withstand stuff that's getting ready to be thrown at us
Mm-hmm.
at all.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been quoted as saying on the prophetic calendar,
Mm-hmm.
there's only one prophetic event that's left before Jesus raptures the church.
Mm-hmm.
If he raptures us,
Mm-hmm.
pre-trib.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the events of Ezekiel 38 and 39, Israel being attacked.
Mm-hmm.
I'm wondering if all this, to do with Russia and Ukraine,
Mm-hmm.
is it the pop-off for Ezekiel 38 and 39?
So you think it's one? So you think it's a sign, or like you said, prophetic, base prophetic, that we're seeing before our eyes until the last days, basically, right? Is that what you're saying?
Right. Right.
Okay, I got you.
And
Do you think, Georgia? Do you think the other things, the other prophetic things that you gathered, do you think others has to take place also? Because I know you referenced Ezekiel. What
right.
about the rest of the prophetic calendars? Do you think that must take place also before the last day? And have they taken place?
They have taken place.
Okay, I got you.
Ezekiel, in my studies,
Mm-hmm.
I believe that Israel being attacked will be the last thing to happen before the rapture.
Okay, I got
Whether it's before the four horsemen and the seven seals, and all that,
Mm-hmm.
or during or after, you know,
Mm-hmm.
because technically all we can do is study. The Bible tells us that no one knows the mind of God.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Only He knows when we will be raptured.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And you have people, that believe in pre-trib rapture, mid, trib rapture, and, after the fact.
Mm-hmm. I got you. I got you.
But, I look at what's going on in the world today, and I wonder if the four horsemen aren't riding.
So you believe some of the things that you see going on in the world and stuff like that, you believe that the four horsemen is roaming around us now?
I do.
Okay. Okay.
But then I also look and we don't, I have my eye on several people that
Mm-hmm.
I think could be the AC,
Mm-hmm.
without saying the word.
Right. Mm-hmm.
But there is no concrete evidence yet.
Right.
And
Right.
by evidence, I'm saying what the Bible tells us to look for in him. I
Uh-huh.
haven't seen in one person yet.
Okay. I got it. Okay. I got you. I got you.
Hey, Miss
So,
Monique, go ahead.
um, yeah, I see what you're saying, but I see. Well, do you think that as far as what you have seen and what you believe is going to take place, so that means you are preparing yourself, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Um, and that's a lot of the reasons why you come on every day, because you're showing information, prophetic information, to let us know things that is before coming. Is that true or no?
Yeah.
Okay, I got it. I got you.
And I know that the Bible says that we are supposed to, we're supposed to stand up and preach the gospel.
Uh-huh.
But with some of these platforms that we use for tools, we have to be so careful how we approach stuff.
Right.
And you have so many people now that their hearts are hardened to this.
Exactly. That's true. That's true.
And, that's what hurts me. It hurts me to see a person turn their back on God and walk away.
But you gotta understand. You have to understand this also, because I understand what you're saying when people, because those feelings do erupt in me also, because that's the spirit of God. When it says
Mm.
the Lord is kindled, spirit is kindled. So I understand that, but at the same time, God also let us know, just like Christ and Stephen said, "Forgive them; they know not what they do." So sometimes people can be under that spirit of hardness. Remember, God put that spirit of hardness on Pharaoh. So we also have to keep in mind, even though a person may not understand at that time, we just have to pray and ask God to open their heart just like he opened ours. Because, at one time, our heart was hard until he opened it. And
Right.
we was able to gain knowledge and wisdom and understanding. Um, I like what Ghetto said. Never forget time and is man-made. God exists outside of time. Revelation can be the last 1,000 of years to us. Make the
Mm.
best out of what we have in life and keep our faith strong. Amen. That's true. That yes. That's that yeah. Because the time with God goes by is outside of man's time. That is absolutely true. But whatever time it is, basically, I see what you're saying. We need to be strong, stay the course, and keep our faith strong in God. Very true. Very true. That's wisdom right there, and wisdom. That's much knowledge right there.
Right. And Monique said, Ghetto, I disagree that time is man made. Time is infinite, but the measurements of time is man made.
Let me see that. Oh, okay. I disagree with time is man-made. Time is infinite, but the measurements of time is man-made. Monique, I see your point, but listen to what you said. You said time is infinite, but the measurement of time is man-made. Okay, I see what you're saying. You're saying the way man measure time, but I think that's what Ghetto was talking about. He is talking about the measurement of time that man puts in place. That right there is what man comes up with. But God, like you're saying, the time is infinite. That's outside of man's measurement. So Ghetto is actually talking about, when he's saying time, he's actually talking about what you're saying, the measurement that man comes up with. That's what he's saying. But and that's what Ghetto, I believe Ghetto interpretation. But you're right on what you're saying. The infinite, that's God. The measurement, that's man. That's wisdom right there in understanding. I see your point exactly.
I mean, even in the Bible, it says that 7 years to us is one day, or is it 1,000?
1,000.
1,000 years to us is one day in the eye of God.
Correct. So that measurement of 1,000 years, that's what Monique is
Mm-hmm.
pertaining to or swaying to when she said measurements. I completely agree with that, because as man measuring the infinite time of God,
Right.
and I completely agree. But that's when those measurements are considered time when it comes to mankind. That is true, Ghetto. Absolutely true. Right, because, and I think when people talk about revelation and it's coming anytime, I think that goes in what Monique is saying. They're measuring the infinite time that God created. That's man measuring, saying, "Oh, revelation is about to come anytime now." So I see you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right as far as that, and you're right. What man measures is not the same time when God could be coming. You're absolutely right.
And another reference with that is when Jesus sat on the Temple Mount with the disciples. He told the disciples what was to be at the end of the age,
Right.
the end of times, whichever way you want to put it.
Right.
And he told them what was to come. And even after he died, and he was crucified, he died, and he rose on the Sabbath. The disciples thought that the end of the age would be during their lifetime. Every generation since then has always said, oh, it's the end of days, it's the end of days, it's the end of days. I agree with that.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
But there's also, I'm gonna call them keywords in there, that if you'll really and truly study, you can see, comparisons to today, in which I'm sure you could even, during the disciples' times.
Right.
But now today, we have things in place that has never been there before.
Correct. So when you say we have things now that wasn't there before in past time, correct?
Right.
Okay, I got you. Okay.
But I'm saying all this for this point. The only thing that we can do, whether we believe, that it's the end of times or not, is to be ready.
Correct.
Because he's going to come like a thief in the night. You know? And we're not going to know. We could be laying in our bed asleep and he call our name. We could be sitting at the eating table, eating. We could be doing any number of things.
Right. That's true.
But I know in my heart of hearts, I want my name to be called because I do not want to be left on this earth.
That's true. That's true. I never see Georgia Praise and Preps. You said Chosen. I think you said that last time, and I completely forgot.
She did.
Where's that? What channel is that on? Y'all, because she said that last thing, and I should have wrote it down. I completely forgot about. But yeah, what channel is that on? The Chosen. I'm gonna write it down now so I can check it out because you did say that last time, and I didn't even watch it, and I'm sorry for that. But I will watch it this time. I just need to know what channel it's on. Ghetto said the amount of civilization that have been destroyed, there may be more than one revelation that may have went through revelation as well. You know what? That is a very, very, very good wisdom and point right there. Because I think what you're saying, Ghetto, like in the Bible, you can, when God destroys Sodom and Gomorrah, that could be looked at as a revelation of that time. Noah, when it came to the ark, that could be looked at as a revelation at that time. So yes, you're on something right there. It could be many revelations that went on, and even the revelation that we read could have happened. It could. We must keep that in mind due to what's written in Ecclesiastics. When the world is restarted again, no one knows what happened in the past, nor would they know what's going to happen in the future. So that's in Ecclesiastics. So I definitely see your wisdom and your question of point that you're going to. That's very good. I can't even say the word, but that's something that needs to be really talked about and built up on.
On YouTube, Facebook, or the Chosen app, crowd-funded series about the life of Jesus. Bring your tissues. I looked it up online right here. It says it's on Peacock for free, Tubi, Crackle, the Roku channel, and there's a whole bunch of options. And they also saying it's on YouTube and Facebook. So
okay, The Chosen. Okay, so I got Peacock, and you said Rescue. You said Roku. Okay, I got Peacock. So look on Peacock.
I got Peacock and Roku and Tubi, and I got all those. So I'm definitely on check into that too, Miss Mac.
Yeah, I'm gonna check that out too. Monique said it goes back all the way to the Sumerians. What goes back all the way? Are you talking about Revelation and then Sumerians? I'm just trying to build up on what you're saying, Monique. When you're saying Sumerians, what's your interpretation of Sumerians? Because some people look at Sumerians differently. So I just want to know your interpretation of Sumerians, and when you say it goes back all the way to what era? If you know, I mean, you may not, because I don't know. That's why I'm asking that question. Okay, Praise. I'm gonna watch that season.
And Liza said you can download the Chosen app as well.
Is it free?
Yeah, they were saying it's free. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, okay. Then I'm
Guys, I hate to cut it short, but we got about 5 minutes before Tribe goes live, and I don't want to cut into his time there.
Oh, okay. It's no problem.
But I definitely want us to continue this conversation, even with the chat. Guys, y'all have no idea how much I enjoy coming in here and talking. And, I don't feel like I'm being judged by what I say.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm having a bad day, I come and we talk it out, like Stars was having a bad day earlier and we was all over on Susanna's channel. Susanna was playing music, and we done everything we could to make Stars laugh, and I think we succeeded on that, so but guys, y'all just don't realize, y'all are my family. I love each and every one of y'all.
Yeah, me too.
And but I definitely want us continue this conversation, Von Eric. I have an idea for an extended panel series
Mm-hmm.
that I want to get with you about, you and Just Josh both. And whoever wants to come up on panel with it, so I kind of want to take a Christian book series and us kind of break it down if y'all have read it or whatnot.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's no problem with me, Peach. I would love that with you said Just Josh and other people. Yeah, I would love that and have that conversation. That'd be no problem. Monique says something about I see the Anzatic culture disappeared. Yeah, I did read a little thing on that, Monique. That was interesting how they said it disappeared. That's real interesting. So you saying they are Sumerians? You believe that's what they call Sumerians? And the first language, written language, is that the first written language? When they say first written language, is that when they say that, is that the first language of man or the first language that whoever discovered it believes that's the first language? But I would like, I know we down a little bit of time, but maybe a conversation we have that and expand on that. I love everybody also too. Love you too, Georgia Praise. And Ghetto, I seen that you said you was going to email me. No problem. I'll be sitting here waiting. And I enjoy all the conversation and discussion every time I come on your channel. And you're right. I like it when we discuss information and we don't judge people's information. We just expand on it. Because I believe that no matter what person's opinion is, it's worth something to me and everybody else. No matter people may disagree on an opinion, but that doesn't mean that opinion is not worth taking in and build off of. Because we all carry the Spirit of God within us all. So that Spirit speaks through us. So if the Spirit of God is in that person, it's also in me. Why should I sit down and try to fight with the person because the opinion they may have said? Instead, I like to listen, understand, and build off of that opinion of information that I'm receiving so I can take it within my life, teach my son, teach my brother, my sister, or my friends and my family. So, and that's what God put me in a place to be in my life, to always listen and understand who am I talking to, because that's God.
Except my opinion. My opinion doesn't count.
Yes, it does.
My opinion doesn't amount to a hill of beans.
Yeah, it does. Everybody's opinion matters.
Right.
I was just waiting for you to get a breath of fresh air there, Vaughn, before I could get it to say anything. Sorry, guys.
All right, yeah. You good? We're fixing to hop over to Tribes. He's going live as we speak. And then Ghetto said he's going live after Tribe, depending on how long Tribe goes.
That's why I said there goes the neighborhood.
But guys, I will. I will email y'all probably tomorrow, and we'll firm up a date on Sunday.
Oh, okay. Is that the one you said it was me, Fat Man, and just Josh too, or just me and Fat Man?
Just you and Fat Man. No, if
Oh,
Josh comes in and he wants to come up, he can, or whoever wants to come up can come up with us.
okay. I got you. Okay. All right.
All right. Well, I love you guys, and I will see y'all at Tribes.
Yeah.
All right. No problem.
All right.
Y'all have a good one. Sorry. I
You
was late.
too. You good, Fat Man. Bye, guys.
Bye bye.